It's my audience. Wave. Ready? Everyone's good? Okay. If you've ever experienced tapping on the walls or things in your home disappearing and reappearing, or just the feeling of being watched, you're probably experiencing paranormal activity. Call me crazy if you must, but there was a point in my life that I thought I was going crazy myself. But about 2 years ago, my beliefs in the paranormal activity were confirmed. Up until October of 2009, my life was completely normal. My family and I were gearing up and getting excited about moving to Leesville, Louisiana, getting stationed there after being stationed in Germany for 3 years. We were most excited about having a home in the Timber Ridge community in Leesville. We had much more space and backyard and everything. We were just very excited. However, this excitement was short-lived a few weeks after living there. Aside from just feeling uneasy and just intense when you first walked into the home, physical activity began to happen within the first few weeks. My husband and I were awoken one night, 2 little hands scratching at our feet. Now, we do have a daughter that was 19 months old at the time, but when we went to go check on her to see if that was her, she was fast asleep in her crib, and she hadn't even started climbing out the crib yet. So without any other explanation that we could think of, we just decided to ignore. Little did we know this was going to be a 2-year roller coaster ride that we were going to experience. It wasn't long after that my daughter ended up waking up pretty routinely to nightmares, and we brushed them off at, not nightmares, but she was screaming, and that's what we brushed it off as, was nightmares. And until one night, a specific night, I went to go talk to her and soothe her and calm her down, and she said that he was being mean to her, and I asked her who she was talking about, and she pointed to the closet and told me to open. So when I opened the closet, I was hit with a breeze of cold air. If you're like me and you watch the Sci-Fi Channel, Travel Channel, you watch Ghost Hunters and all that, you would know that random cold spots can identify as a paranormal activity going on in your home. So what I decided to do was do my own investigation. What I found about the cold spots was this from Manchester Paranormal Investigations, the MPI, that hauntings can be felt as an unusual cold or hot spot, a touch, or an unexplained breeze. This confirmed what I was thinking, that this was a paranormal thing occurring in my home, and it just made my skin crawl. It did not only affect my husband and I or my child, it also affected our friends and family that would come and visit. They would experience anything from pictures falling off the walls, chairs being flipped over, or just nonstop noises as they were trying to sleep in the guest bedroom. So it didn't take long with friends and family being involved for this news to travel. We actually got a phone call from a guy named Brian who happened to be with the LA Spirits. This is a organization that's certified. They are a paranormal activity investigation agency, and he really wanted to help us out and try to get us out of our home, out of our lease, because he felt as though our haunting in our home was a very dangerous situation. And what he explained to us was that, according to them, in the state of Louisiana, a tenant paying rent can break his or her lease without penalty if paranormal activity in the rental property can be proven by a certified paranormal investigator. So he was very concerned, really wanted us to get out of the apartment, but we chose to decline because we only had a year left living there and we didn't feel threatened. So, actually, after that, life continued to be completely normal. We had no more activity going on in the home. It was a few months into it until we felt or experienced anything else. I was putting my daughter to sleep one night, and she asked who that was in the doorway. And I figured she was pretending, and I did not see who she was talking about. I was like, I don't know, I don't see who that is. So I just went ahead, kissed her goodnight, turned out her light, and went in the living room to go read. A couple hours later, however, when I was going back into the hallway, there was a small child standing in her doorway with his arms held out as if he wanted me to pick him up. I was frozen, in shock, and the only thing I could think of to do was close my eyes, and he would disappear, and that's exactly what happened. So, that's what happened with that. This picture right here, after a few months of nothing going on, I don't know if you can see, this is an STAY. This is when we decided to, this is when our lease was up and we were going to move out. And everything was going great with the move until the night before we moved out. We had writing on the walls, we had possessions being broken or shattered. This was the first thing that we noticed. After we had just cleaned the wall, we went back to make sure there was no more markings, and this was written on the wall with no explanation. No one was in there. This is another picture of some of our vases being shattered for no apparent reason, no breeze, no nothing. So the next day we went to go turn in our keys, and my husband told the landlord, hey, next person that comes into 1506, apartment 1506, could you please warn them that this apartment is haunted? And instead of the crazy looks that we've been getting for the past year, she just kind of looked at us very understandingly, and she said, I know. What happened was she ended up telling us that a young child, a little boy about 2 years old, he had died in that home. So it was almost a sign of relief, actually, we were not crazy, and that this was what was going on in our home. And I was forced to sit there and think, why was this little boy haunting our home? And world-renowned medium Mary Harriet Kay says that some spirits haunt their previous home. They feel comfortable existing in the same house that is once inhabited. It usually doesn't intend to scare the living. They are doing this for attention. They are seeking help. So this put me at ease. I had no idea that was going on, but it explained what we were experiencing for 2 years. So with that being said, I know that I'm not crazy, and I know that this was completely normal. I was just living in a paranormal life. So the next time you hear a bump on the wall or footsteps that you can't account for, just know that you're probably having the paranormal share your home.